Well, hello. I hope everyone here had a very wonderful Thanksgiving. I was busy trying to get some videos up, and in the process of doing so, I get a message from my friends to where they say, "Where is the Windows ME video?" And to which I reply, "What?" To be honest, I have promised that in the past with them, and they've been supporting me ever since the creation of this YouTube channel, so I can't ignore that request for any longer. So it doesn't hurt to go ahead and just take a look at Windows ME. But let's just say for December, I'm going to try to push all of the videos that I have on hold onto this month. So there's my Christmas present to all of you, if it turned out to be really good, of course. Alright, before we go ahead and install the operating system, let's take a look at this box that I have here. Now, this is the upgrade version of Windows Me, and this is the promotional setup for users who already have Windows 98 or 98 2nd Edition. Alright, so taking a look at the back, the first thing I've noticed is this corner part here where it states which Windows is right for you. And it shows Windows Me as home and Windows 2000 as business. Well, we can already know which one is better if you've seen my channel before, Windows 2000 all the way. Now, personally, I have never used Windows Me at all. It went from me using Windows 95 to 98 and right to Windows 2000. I'm not too sure why my family didn't pick up Windows ME. Probably because Windows 2000 didn't require a serial key to activate it, which was nice. I'm about to go install this thing and let's just find out if the rumors are true. This is going to be the first time I'm ever going to mess with Windows ME. Now for the setup, it's going to be very similar to the Windows 98 build I did, which was a nightmare. So it's still going to be a Pentium 2 running at 233 megahertz. We're actually going to be putting in only 128 megabytes of RAM. I got an NVIDIA card installed, AGP 16 megabytes, and a Sound Blaster card, which was previously used in that video. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're going to be using a Western Digital 40 gigabyte hard drive. Unfortunately, with this motherboard, which is a gigabyte board, is having troubles reading it as usual, so we'll be doing only 20 gigabytes of it. Then the process should be pretty easy, right? No. Now this thing was a nightmare to install. I also have the full version of Windows ME as well, and I tried that first, but I just could not get this thing to work. It was just spitting out so many errors, and the motherboard was not cooperating with the hard drive. Yeah, I wanted to throw this thing out the window, so I just went the easy route of just installing Windows 98 2nd Edition and just decided to do the upgrade process with Windows ME. Alright, so here we are. I figured I'd go ahead and record it off the computer screen since trying to capture VGA is quite a nightmare still to this day. And let me go ahead and crop that screen so we can only see that. Much better. So with the disk put in, we are greeted with the message, the CD-ROM contains a newer version of Windows. Would you like to upgrade this computer? We're going to click yes. It's just finishing up checking on the system and preparing the setup files. And now it asks to restart the computer since Windows is currently running right now. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Alright, now we're just going in to boot into the hard drive and why am I here? Is it just to suffer? Yeah, not gonna lie, we're just gonna go ahead and copy all the files on the CD because I am so sick of this horse like. Okay, so we're finally at the part where it's checking on the computer, just making sure that everything looks fine and there's no problems with the hard drive. Alright, finally get this installed and definitely try out Windows ME. So we're going to skip all of this and go straight to Windows ME. Welcome to Windows Millennia Edition. Right off the bat, it's, of course, just looks like Windows 2000, but probably worse. Well, we're going to find that out. So far, I see everything on here. Doesn't look like anything bad's happened to it, or there hasn't been any corrupted files, or nothing looks out of place, so that's a good start. And for my surprise, looks like Windows ME has pinball on here. You know, I always find that really weird how Windows 98 2nd Edition doesn't come with pinball, but the video where I showed off Windows NT, which is the 4.0, has a version of pinball in it. That is so bizarre to me. Well, so far, looks like all of my drivers, besides the USB audio that I use for the HDMI conversion, seems to be in there, and everything seems to work just fine. Huh. Well, there are reports of Windows ME being a little, really bad with driver support. Well, they do have MSN messaging service, and I remember that, but not on Windows ME. I was introduced this on Windows XP, but wow, kind of cool to see that in here. And speaking of being surprised, Windows ME has Movie Maker. Oh wow. So it seems as if all the stuff that came from Windows ME was transferred over to Windows XP, so looks like they obviously improved Windows Movie Maker and definitely the MSN Messenger. So that's really crazy to see this on here. My whole life was a lie. This whole time thinking Windows XP was the first to introduce Movie Maker and Messenger. It was all a lie. Was my whole life a lie? Well, I do have to say that I do prefer the Windows XP's Movie Maker over this, although this is really cool to mess around with it, and really to play around with the older version. I can see why there were a lot of improvements done when they were transferring this over to Windows XP, although, like I said, it's pretty simple tool to use, especially for any beginner who is trying to do like YouTube stuff like the golden age, just using Windows Movie Maker and such. Well, I guess Windows ME kept the themes, so that's really cool to see that. Again, I guess it's kind of a shame for it to not show up on Windows 2000, but I definitely would understand why it didn't to begin with, since it was targeted for only the business side of computering and not for an average like home user. I'll just go ahead and choose my other favorite theme pack. There we go. Looks nice. And of course, Windows Me was the first to introduce this Windows Media Player style that I'm so accustomed to on Windows XP. And of course, it does come with the skins that you would find on the Windows Media Player, like this Headspace one that kind of freaked me out as a kid. I always thought this thing was actually going to open its eyes and look up at me whenever it's playing music. So far, all of the games that I had previously installed on Windows 98 seem to be working just fine. I thought they were going to have a little bit of issue with Windows ME, but no, not really. Wonder what the case is. I keep hearing so much bad things about Windows ME, but I mean, it's working right now. Not to say that I like it, I still think it's pretty strange. I got one more thing to test. Okay, since one of the issues that was reported was something with drivers or peripheral issues, so here I have the Microsoft Sidewinder flight stick controller. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Alright, if we go into the gaming options and we add the controller, it does have the Sidewinder listed as a game controller to add. So, okay, that makes it pretty easy, but is it going to give me an issue? Nope, seems to be working just fine. No issues, no nothing. It's able to recognize all the buttons. So, okay, let's try it out on a game. And here is Hellbender, and honestly it works just fine. No complaints on the game running really slow, and the controller seems to be working just fine in the game too. So again, I don't see any issues on this part. But I got one more thing to test out. Here's Doom. And right off the bat, it works. I was testing out to see if any DOS games would still work on Windows ME. I know sometimes Windows 2000 has an issue with it, so well, there's some bonus points for Windows ME, but I don't know if all DOS games work though. Well, that's all for games. Let me try some software and see if maybe we might get something. Alright, so here we have Home Design 3D by Expertsoft. And with this kind of software, what I'm trying to test is not only on the graphical side, but definitely the coding side as well to see if this might break Windows ME. And while it might be slow, probably just due to lack of hardware recommendation, works fine, no crashes, and okay, I'm kind of lost. What's going on here? Usually I would think I get some sort of issue with Windows ME, besides the one time trying to empty the trash can. That took forever, and I thought that thing was going to crash, but no, that's not the case. I'm just not too sure what the complaints were about Windows ME, so I decided to jump on the internet and kind of see what's going on. And before I did this, I noticed one thing though when I was messing around with Windows ME. There's just something about it, the way that it controls almost, and kind of how it's presented compared to Windows 2000. Seems like I'm still running Windows 98 2nd edition though. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, isn't that a good thing? Well, no, not really. If you kind of think about it, what would be the whole point of the upgrade then? And this is just my personal opinion, so obviously this does not go on being a fact or anything. But if you think about upgrade, why would you want to take something that was previously used and just add a couple of things and calling it a day? Basically what I'm saying is just that Windows ME is just part of the Win 9X era of operating systems, so it still has DOS, it still runs the old system, old features and whatnot. It was because it was rushed by Microsoft. They wanted to push this thing out the doors, along with Windows 2000 being a light version, which turned out to be a mistake edition, as this review has put it. And honestly, I've never had any issues with using Windows 2000 as a home computer. Not even back then I've had any issues. Not even now with the computer I just built and installed Windows 2000 on. I mean, sure, with Windows 2000 dropping support, or halfway dropping support of DOS, the games that were coming out didn't need DOS anymore. It was just improving as we go. And well, to be honest, I don't think I have any right to even call it a bad operating system, and I'm not saying it is a bad operating system. I think it's okay, but again, there's just a lot of things that were missed that Windows 2000 had a better advantage on. But if you like Windows ME and you've had better history with it and better memories with it, that's fine. That's okay with me. I got no reason to argue with you. And well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. As much as I've only messed with Windows ME for about a good maybe 15-30 minutes, I don't really have any other opinion to say about it but saying that it's just okay. But definitely would just prefer Windows 98 over this. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and definitely give a thumbs up or a thumbs down this video. It really helps out with support. But I will definitely catch you guys on the next video.